Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Hang on
How's
to
your
start
week
my
going?
video.
There we go.
Pretty good.
Good.
I was just making a TikTok and I almost forgot the time.
Yeah. How's TikTok been going? Because you've been pulling a lot of your posts and putting them as ads, right?
I am, yeah. And I think my last viral kind of
Hmm.
wound down from the TikTok. So it's kind of hovering in the 300 zone right
Hmm.
now. Everything's 300, 400. It took about 6 weeks to write it out last time. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping it'll kind of push through sooner than that. But
totally.
um, yeah, I think what I just posted it shot straight off, no engagement. And I'm like, okay.
Mm,
But and that's just the algorithm, I know.
yeah, no, totally. Cool.
Yeah, everything's just kind of winding down from the crazy week you had or the crazy month you had, I guess. So,
Yeah. I had several
How
that
many
took
orders?
off and
Yeah.
huh?
How many orders did you get again?
It, I'm not sure. It was a lot. Like with the map video, I
Mhm.
think it was like 30 a day there for a while.
30 a day.
It was a lot.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean, I had to restock several
Yeah.
times. And that's a lot. I mean, granted, I can't sustain that every day. So that's okay. But now I'm kind of like, okay, we can go up a little bit again now.
Yeah, totally.
Um, but yeah, that all kind of wound down. But I did start some new ads with TikTok. So hoping that kind of that seems to be pushing it a little bit again. So
Hmm.
that if the organic's not going, at least that's at least I'm still getting sales. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it makes sense. That's awesome.
definitely.
Yeah, did you have
Well,
any questions? Yeah, anything you want to go over?
I did, and um, so one of my questions is so like if my Facebook ads should I only really adjust them like every week, or if they're going weird in the middle of the week, is that okay to like I was saying earlier, Ella, about drop or turning one off and dropping another ad in.
Hmm.
Is that okay to do that? Or is it better if it kind of has a span where it kind of resettles?
Yeah, so what we typically say with that is going back to the 7 and 14th day. So if you look at it a comprehensive 14 and 7, that'll give you a good idea because sometimes ads will have an off week and they'll just increase like crazy and then
Hmm.
the next week they'll be way back down. So I would always look at like the 14 versus the 7 and then sometimes we'll also look at like this week to see how it's trending if it's middle of the week. I'll look at like the first couple days, see if it's looking a little bit better. But if it is something like it's $100 cost per purchase, just go ahead and turn it off
Hmm.
because it's really going to take a lot for it to get back to the point of being profitable in
Hmm.
that sense. But if it's hovering right around like 30 or 40, it could just be having an off week and you'd want to let it just steady back out again.
Got it. Yeah, the one that I turned off, it was at 100, and I was trying to do the compare the 7 week to the 14, and the
Yeah.
last few days even too, and it had no sales the last few days. It was
Hmm.
just even for the last like 14 days, think it was like pushing up over 50. So
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that
um,
was perfect deduction there. I would have done the same thing. So,
Hmm.
okay, I'm still trying to figure out when if my senses are right on that.
yeah. No,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and uh, I do. I actually Meta wanted me to schedule an ad call, and I figured I'd do that because I know they can give credits.
I would definitely get, yeah,
um,
credits, and you can have a contact too, just in case anything ever happens. It's
okay,
always, we
that's
have like a
good.
bunch
Okay,
too, just in case. Yeah.
Mhm.
got it. Okay, I
Mhm.
did schedule that. And I didn't know if there was like if that's. I mean, I had a call with someone several years ago, and it just was completely not useful. um, but I guess that depends on who you get too.
Yeah, if they tell you to like launch up a traffic campaign, I would just kind of take everything with a very hefty amount of
A
salt.
grain of
But
salt, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew the last time it was like person knew nothing about books or how any of that worked. So yeah, but okay. Yeah, I'll just see how that goes. And I didn't even think about the contact. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great to have someone who you can reach out to if there's ever an issue. But I would, like Cameron said, take their advertising advice with a grain of salt just because they deal with more so a lot of like physical products in the e-commerce space. So it's a lot different when it comes to books as well.
Yeah.
And another question was, so I'd asked before about launching a new series, and you were saying about KU, and how that might be more successful to launch in KU. I had this last week. Amazon sent me this really nasty email about I've been returning too many things, and I think it's the books. Like I've been ordering lots of KDP books, and just a ton of them came damaged and damaged and damaged. And I asked for refunds. So, because I don't normally return a lot of things. So they sent me this whole thing about like my account's in danger of closing. And so I just like divested everything from Amazon. I'm just not going to order from them in case anything trips the system. But I'm not sure that's a good idea to launch in KU with my account kind of foggy like that.
One thing that we've seen is, are you going to have an audiobook for this as well?
I'm planning it, but I'm not going to have it out the gate.
Not the gate. Okay.
So I do know that.
What about paperback?
I do want to do paperback out the gate. So I have it as a pre-order on my site right now. And it's like 2 months from now. And I was planning to have this done a lot sooner, but I've been spending every day packing. So I flexibly, I can push that out and give the early access people their book and then, pre-sell. I was wondering, would that be worth it to come out the gate with a special edition? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Or is and I've seen several people doing that, just kind of pushing straight out with a foiled edition, even just a foiled paperback. And I know it's a little bit more lead time, but yeah, I'm trying to figure, how do I launch this the best way if it's not in KU?
I would do a special edition. I think your special editions, especially with your audience, like you show your paperbacks a lot. And I would honestly do a special edition. You could even bundle the ebook as a part of that. And that way you could charge more and you'd have a lot more you'd have like what, $6 or $7 more margin there. Yeah, you could charge in the higher 20s probably. I think that would work.
Yeah, I think so. I know like with Book Vault, like the Chinese printers, that'd be like at least a 3 months lead time minimum past when I have it done. So that'd be like 6 months out to do a special edition. But with Book Vault, I'd probably be able to get a turnaround within a few weeks. And I think foiling a paperback for them is only $3 more than the actual paperback. So that might be economical to just order a chunk and lead with that. But yeah, this whole week I've been just shifting strategies around that. Like, okay, so I need to not lean on Amazon right now. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry that's happening.
I'm not sure. I think it was just the large quantity of damaged books they sent me and that I asked for refunds for, and apparently they don't like that.
Yeah. Well, like it's not your fault in that case. Like if they're damaged.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, but I'm like, okay, well then that's not going to be the main strategy.
Yeah. No, it's fair. Honestly.
Yeah. And I also want to ask, like, should I be looking at raising prices at any time or just kind of hold steady with where I'm at? Because I raised them right before I started with this, and they're at $6.99 right now for ebooks.
For an ebook?
Ebooks.
That's awesome.
For an ebook. So that is a good price and hold steady there.
It's good. You said $6.99?
$6.99.
Yeah, because the average is what, $5.99. I mean, that's pretty. $5.99 is
something like that.
Good.
And I think I do have a little bit more leeway in my genre because it's heavily traditional publishing, where people are paying $12.99 for an ebook, $15.99. And I was just looking and comparing a lot of indie prices. $6.99 seems to be where a lot of like small press kind of hovers to. There's not a lot of people in my genre doing what I'm doing, so it's a little hard to compare. But
I'd raise it by $1 then.
Raise it by $1? Because okay, and then would I be able to push my bundle price up by $1 or $2?
I wouldn't touch that.
Don't touch the bundle price.
From what we've seen with ads, if that's ever changed, the targeting just becomes completely different.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially because we'd almost redo a little bit of the ads that are running currently too. I think your price point is fine because you do have upsells on here that a lot of people are taking right now as well. So yeah.
So I did briefly have my paperback bundle have to go to the 4-book bundle, not the 5 book, when I ran out of book 5. And that did change the price on that, but that's like that's hooked to the main ebook bundle. Would that have shifted audience segments? It didn't seem to do a whole lot.
Just a variant.
No, especially because of the way you have it set up with the app as well. And because essentially it was 2 different products in a sense, because it was one less book. So yeah, that wouldn't have done anything really to our ads.
Okay. So bump the single ebooks up to like $7.99, but then just don't touch the bundle.
Yeah. One thing with
that would.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that would add an extra like $5 under the bundle price. Should I show that it's like? I think I have it at like 30% off right now. Then show that it's like 35 or whatever, or just don't even touch any of that.
Did the headline say 30?
I would just it says 30%.
I think all the headlines
now.
Do say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we were looking to completely scrap our current ads, yes, I would say so. But for right now, as things are performing, I would just leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, would that be better if I just left the prices all as they are right now, or
for the singles?
Yeah.
I would pick up the singles. The only reason with the bundles is that we don't change prices because Facebook, when they start serving your ad, they take the price of whatever the product is into account to like what all the other products are. And so if they're targeting a certain sector of people and you raise your price by like $5, it puts you in a whole different category and it targets a whole different set of people. It becomes way more expensive. So your single books, I totally would, because if you could still get people into your brand and then they buy the rest of your books, that's totally fine. That's the end goal.
Yeah. Okay. I think within the genre that would be totally doable at that with $7.99. Yeah. Okay. I think I just had this whole thing of questions.
Yeah.
Good.
And I was not expecting to be the only one.
I think it's 4th of July anyway, so yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I figured out some of my other questions and asked Ella the other one earlier. So Jeremy did reach out to me.
Nice.
So
awesome. Okay. Yeah, you were able to see that email.
Yes, and I haven't gotten back yet, but yes, I will.
Perfect. Good. I'm glad you saw that.
Hey, Mira.
Hi, Mira.
I think I have the wrong link. I was just like waiting in limbo for like the last 15 minutes. And
do you know where you saw that link?
I saved it and put it into my calendar as a recurring thing. So I have no idea where I originally got it, but I was just like, this is weird. I should go and check the featured posts and see if there's like when there's that one works better. So
yeah, Cameron, I would go ahead and make a post maybe in the mastermind.
Looks like Claire's jumping in. Yeah. Send it to her.
You see Claire's? Okay, perfect. I had sent her the new link as well.
Cool.
Oh, there's a new link? I was just using the course link.
That one.
Well, I think a lot of people had it saved already and we updated the link. So you probably got the right one, but I think a lot of people had the previous one saved.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're just like banking on a slow week. You're like, you know what? I have a lot going on. Like, doesn't work. What? So I don't know if you guys were talking about it already, but I had a quick question with that. I got an email from Aftership that they're like raising or they're changing their pricing model and everything, and I kind of barely glimpsed at it, but I think it was like, oh, it's going to automatically be like $40 a month or something, and then like this other stuff, and I just kind of was like, I don't know, but I figured I'd just find out because I know a lot of times when things are changing, you guys are just like, yeah, we're switching to this. And so before I dug in and decided to try and see whether I really needed it or not, I figured I'd ask you guys, like, if that's just like, yes, go ahead and sign up for one of those certain levels or what? I don't know.
Through Aftership. I'm not too. Do you know what the pricings are? You said it was $40 a month. Was that like the base plan?
I think so. Let me look and see if I can find the Aftership one. Let's see. So new pricing August 1st, and there's a starter that is $39 a month with unlimited products, includes 10 TikTok shop orders a month, plus I can't tell what that says. 2 per extra order, maybe. I don't know. And then there's another one that's the next one, which is growth, is $199 a month. And that one includes 1,000 TikTok shop orders. I mean, like right now, that starter one would be like, would cover it for me for sure. But that's like pretty pricey to jump up to if you go past your stuff.
Are you making
I don't know.
more than what that would cost you from the shop?
Not from TikTok. No, I mean, I'm like, I really, I wasn't, it's like, I like to have everything set up, but I didn't know if it was like, everybody needs to be on board. It's like for current free plan users, which I'm not even sure if I am or not, access to all functions and automatic synchronization will no longer be available after August 1st. So,
I wouldn't then for right now. I would just, our Facebook ads we can just focus on scaling those. I would say.
Sounds good. All right. And the other thing I was going to ask is, you and I talked about this maybe last week or something, and that with the upsell app add-in, where we were looking at possibly figuring out how to offer paperback bundle buyers the free ebooks, but hopefully while eliminating anyone who has already paid for the ebook thing. So I know you said Ella was looking at a new kind of app there, and I was curious if you guys had investigated anything.
Yeah, we found one called Cactus. Ella, if you want to talk about that, I know you said you got to install them on the store.
It's spelled Kaktus.
Okay.
It's essentially.
So does it replace Sell Easy, or do you have to like undo all of the stuff you already did? I mean, I only have a couple things, but like.
So it's actually for doing like the slider cart upsell. So essentially, have you ever seen on an e-commerce site where they have you add a product to your cart and then it says spend this much more in order to get a free add-on?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the type of like upsell thing that it is. I can show you an example of what it looks like on a site. We don't have it completely set up currently, but let me show you. So this is Olivia's site. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat for you to take a look at. But it's essentially something that you set up on the back end, and you would still use a discount, like create a discount on Shopify for it, so that if they spend a certain amount, it'll add on the ebook for free for you.
Okay. So it wouldn't necessarily, but it wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't work with like a segment or something. Like, I guess the one thing I'm trying to do, like, I want to be like, yay, look, you can have the ebooks too, but I don't really want to go back and however many people have already ordered the ebooks that then are now ordering the paperbacks. I just don't want to be like, oh yeah, let me go and here's $22.99 credit. Here's $22.99 credit for times like however. In my fantasy, a lot of book orders that would happen for. But
I see. So you want to essentially give readers who buy the paperback a code,
the option to just have to add it on for free or whatever, to be like, here you qualify to have this, blah blah whatever. And because like right now, if a reader goes in and they want to buy my ebook bundle, it offers them the Back to You bundle to go with it at 15% off. And I don't actually remember where it is in the thing, but ideally what I'd like is to have that be like, you're buying the paperback version, in case you don't already have the ebook version. Here are these, so you don't have to wait for them. It's just that question mark about not upsetting the people who have already purchased both. Like, I don't want to make it something where somebody's going to feel like, wow, that I got screwed because I ordered this before. So that's why I was like, I'd like to just offer it to them, but I almost wonder whether maybe the easiest thing is to not do it like an upsell, but with Klaviyo or something, and just be like, your order's on the way, but if you don't want to, and then have it based on like a segment.
Yeah,
it's like, if Klaviyo. You want, and then
I would
kind of avoid the.
Yeah, in that case, I would almost recommend then either doing it through Klaviyo, so setting up a segment where it'll be a kind of a post-purchase trigger back to them, or doing a post-purchase, like a thank you trigger through Sell Easy. So Sell Easy allows you to do, let me look at the name real quick. But Sell Easy allows you to do like a post-purchase kind of upsell on the back end. So you could do it that way, in the sense of once they purchase that paperback bundle and they just purchase the paperback bundle, it'll trigger that and it'll pull in whatever ebooks you want to put on the back end of that, and you can make sure that they're discounted.
The only thing with that is, and maybe I just missed it, I don't think that Sell Easy has something that allows you to pick from like a segment though, right? Like, I don't want to show this offer to people who have already bought the ebook bundle. But I can do that with, but I can do that with Klaviyo, because we've got all those segments already that say they've got them. And I mean, I'm sure there's a little imperfect stuff, like there's like some might slip through, but it's not going to be like a lot. So,
then I would just make sure you set up that segment to take out everyone who's bought the ebook. And to target towards people who just haven't bought the paperback yet or are going to. And then, either send like a code for them to go back in and buy the ebook for free, or send them like a direct link to it that discounts it for them.
Yeah, that's perfect, with like that shareable link where it just puts it automatically into the cart. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Super easy for them to do. Yeah. And that definitely, you gain a lot of trust from the customer when you do that for them as well. So
What do you think would be like a good, subject lines are so tricky because sometimes they're like, blah, blah, I already placed the order, the yes with the thank you. And I mean, I don't open most of those. Um, do you have any thoughts on like what would be that like,
Title? Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
would
what
say,
would actually be like enough of a title to a subject line to actually like get their attention, like without being like an automatic spam filter
yeah.
visit. It's free.
Yeah. I would say like something, if you're going to implement it into the thank you part, I would say something like, thank you for your order, or just thank you. Here's a free gift from me to you. Super easy.
Okay.
What books are they?
Free gift. What's that?
Which genre books are they? Because you could do something like hockey. They're hockey. You could do something funny.
So
like,
it would be this, it's not like I'm giving them books I don't want to give them books they don't have already. It's just the ebooks version, right?
Yeah.
So like if you don't want to wait, or like and I suppose I can just A/B test it because that's like Klaviyo does that.
Yeah, you could tell
be like, I mean, Jeremy.
Yeah, you could do like Jeremy. Like, do you not like hot hockey guys or something funny like that? Like that's not going to get spammed, and that's going to be something attention grabbing enough that's standing out in their emails. And it's also funny too. Yeah.
Are you going to give them the whole bundle, just an ebook format?
Yeah, it just seems like it would be, if they've already paid, $160 or something for this like print book bundle and I have only had out of all of my orders ever, one person that actually asked me about it, but it made me think like, boy, I mean, like they already bought the books. You can offer them these ebooks, and then they can get started reading on them. It's just like seemed like a nice thing to do that. Like, I mean, I'm assuming if they're paperback readers, they're not really like gonna, I don't know, whatever, you know, but
then you could do one that says like, thanks for your order, start reading now, or something like that, that kind of tells them they'll get that format first.
Start reading now is a good one. Okay.
Yeah, because that'll kind of trigger it in their mind that, oh, I can start right now, and then read the paperbacks when they come too.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. That's good. All right. Get my little thing going.
Chances they'll cancel the paperbacks.
I know when they get the clear with the what are the chances they'll cancel the paperbacks when they get the ebook.
I wouldn't bet on that.
It's only after they've already got it, and I can't imagine. I mean, if that starts happening, I'll just like take it off. I won't offer it anymore. But like, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think it's not going to happen, but because I have the nicest readers in all the land.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that happening.
I mean, and I think there's less chance of it in particular if it actually is not offered through like one of those sell easy options. Like, I mean, if they've like already committed to ordering the books, this is not something I would advertise ahead. It would just be like,
post segment.
I guess they would have post purchase, and only for those very special few who have subscribed to my newsletter to email marketing. The rest of them, not good to me anyway. So I don't know. Okay. I think that's it for my list today. Go ahead. I've hogged it up enough. Okay. I'm listening. I'm just actually going to mute and take care.
Do you have any other questions?
I think I covered all of mine earlier.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and that like what Ella was talking about too with in terms of like cutting ads and things like that. Same thing with budget. Like technically, if something's inactive, you can change the budget every minute, like realistically, if you wanted to. But like Facebook, they're just having to, like, if you change it from 50 to 100, they're having to double the amount of people that they're finding every day. So they might not be able to do that. Like they could find some people at 50, But if you have like a mass market product that like can sell to anyone and it's a good ad, you could double it. You could literally, we've taken budget from 50 to 1,000 in like a week, and it held just because it's a great ad, great product, and it can sell to a mass market. And so that's kind of how we look at it, to where like you could change budget. That's why we have some rules that change budget every single day, just because we slowly scale it up, and you can kind of find where you're going to land in the market, your cost per result. But yeah, as long as it's inactive, you can change it every day. And the new learning limited rules, something cool with those is previously you had to get 50 conversions every 7 days, and now it's 10. So it's like everything's automatically inactive, so you never even have to worry about learning anymore.
You mean like not inactive, but inactive?
Yes,
inactive. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's all there, and so like when things are inactive, you can always drop in new ads or turn off ads, and it won't put it back into learning or reset learning.
Okay.
And then you can always change budget. You just can't change it more than, they used to say 25%. Now you can do it by like 70%. But it's still like, you want to make sure if it can sell at 50, that it can sell at 100. So you can slowly scale it up there over a period of time. But yeah, it's all just how if it's going to sell to people, and if it can hold more spend, you could spend $10,000 on the ad. And like, if it can, you can keep scaling it. And so it's just finding that point.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're like yesterday, I backed it down a little, and then we backed it down a little again this morning. That's totally incremental, fine. And that's okay.
Totally fine. Yep. Yeah. And especially if you're pulling budget back, it's like if you're spending $50 per day and you pull it back to 40, it already knows who is going to buy at that $50 budget. So it knows even more at 40. It's just not going to spend towards the people that it thinks is going to buy. So it's getting more accurate.
Got it.
Yeah, that's why you could pull a budget from like, if you pull it from 100, if you were spending $100 per day and your cost per result was at like 30, if you pulled it back to $10 per day, it'd probably go to like $10, because it only has to get a much smaller amount of purchases each day. It's only spending $10 to get one purchase a day, essentially.
Okay, so that's how you can kind of like rescue it if it's going way overblowing. Okay.
Pull it back, drop some new ads in, and then you can start to build it back up again.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've just been, I think I've been thinking of the old rules with traffic, that if traffic ads, that if you tweak it at all, it'll just go haywire and don't touch it, and et cetera, et cetera.
Because Ella talks about this all the time. It's they get click crazy. Like when you scale, say like a traffic ad from $100 to $1,000, it doesn't have any of that back end data, the pixel data to rely on of like, are these people actually customers? It's just going to send it to anyone who's going to click. And there's like, that's why those things break.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's, but with sales ads, you can go from 50 to 1,000 as long as great product and it's still selling. Yeah.
So I actually do have a question about that Cactus app. I did get the app, but there were several of them. Is it the one that's for free shipping, like Cactus free shipping?
Let me look real quick.
Like, I think it was the green one, and they had a blue one and a purple one.
Yeah, they kind of have a couple of them. It should be the one that says, I just want to make sure they didn't change the name of it.
This one just said Cactus.
It's a sticky cart drawer.
Sticky cart drawer. I might not have the right one. Cactus sticky cart drawer. Yeah, I got the one that was free shipping or something like that.
Yeah. They have a ton of different like styles of it. Like they have free shipping, they have buy X get Y free gifts. They've got pre-order ones too, but the one specifically for that slide cart is going to say slide cart sticky cart drawer.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I installed it and I was looking for where to set it up, like that other site, and I couldn't find it. So I might have the wrong app.
Yeah. And also, if you like reach out to their support in the chat, they'll also unlock a bunch of the other features for you. You just have to say, hey, can you unlock these? And they'll go ahead and do it for you.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I did I did find I'd had a call with So Easy about that, and they said that they will have that they're working on that feature in a month or two. But I also found that they couldn't look at my site because I have it geo-blocked in India. So I think I need to remember how to ungeo-block it for stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah. That's cool though that they said it'll be available soon. That's a interesting kind of app that they have there. So I'm excited to see that.
Cool. You have any other questions?
Are there any new TikTok-y trend things going on, or like reels or things where you're seeing like, oh, this is something different and doing well, just stuff to add to the, not that I can actually deliver on it in any kind of timely fashion, but I'm still like interested, maybe.
Yeah. I personally honestly haven't seen a ton. I just know TikTok overall was a little bit down over the past month, and so we've been focusing a lot more on Facebook ads. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Novi?
I would say the series still are doing good. Novi and I were talking about the state series, but then you could also test out like the city series too. So doing different cities in the US. And then for international markets, if you ship internationally, you could do like a pack and order with me from this country, like Australia for Canada, that sort of thing. Just so that you can use that in an international ad. Other than that, though, not a whole lot different. If you've ever done any of the video styles where it's just like you kind of looking at the camera, reacting to what you're going to put as a text overlay, and then just putting one big chunk of text overlay on the entire video, that works really well. I can send over an example of what that would look like.
I would love an example. I'm like highly dependent.
Visual learner.
I know. I'm just like, I don't even know what she means. It's like the whole like hot cocoa bomb incident thing where I was like, what are they talking about?
I had no idea either, Mira.
Yeah.
When you say the series style stuff, so it's like, so you're talking about like the the map with the where you've got the orders, where every time you go back in and you just say, like you put a little text overlay on it that says, I don't even know, what do you even call the map thing? It's like, which states did I ship to or whatever. And then you just like number it. And today we've got this many orders that are going to these places, or I have a new state that I haven't done.
I kept doing like a comment chain, like taking a comment from the last video that was I ordered in this state, and then commenting and commenting and commenting. So that like people who watch the first video, if that comment reply, they can click into that, and then they go to the next video and see a comment reply and click on that as well. I mean, you can do it in series too, but I definitely noticed the ones that were commented got higher views.
I am totally going to have to go hunt through your stuff because I don't even know what that means.
Well, so like when you're in TikTok,
I vaguely understand. I've seen people with the little thing where it's got the little window and stuff. So I'm sure if I look at it, I'll be able to figure it out. But okay, when you said the state and country stuff, so pack an order with me for these guys in Utah or something, and then or international or something. Is there anything other than pack an order with me? Like, is there some other thing to do with that, or is it just, I don't know, for like the series or state or international? Like, is there some like particularly effective or fun ones or something?
Yeah, you can also do names too. If you ever get requests for someone to have their order like featured in a video, you can always do like, say, pack an order with me for Cameron or something like that. If you get a message from someone who says, hey, can you please do my pack and order on a video? And then you can pack the order for them and do that as a video as well, because that's a little bit more engaging with your customers too.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever done lives at all either, though. Those can work really well, especially with TikTok Shop.
I know, I'm so nervous with those. I have like I'm just too chicken. Like I always am like, yeah, it's been on my list for like a year and a half, but obviously I haven't like gotten to it yet. I don't know. I just am afraid I'm not going to have anything.
Yeah, if you're sitting down and writing, you could just start up a live and just have it aiming towards you and just start writing. So you have to.
You just have to have like your book in front of you for TikTok Shop, or you'll get violations.
Yeah, definitely. So, the book will have to. Yeah, the book can be on like the side in the live, but then it could just be you writing.
Okay, so you do a live. You've just got the book in front that is visible, and when you set the live up, you're actually linking the product. Is that what you're talking about with the TikTok Shop for the? Okay, so if I was like, okay, I'm working on the next book in the Slayers series, and you just like every now and then you stop and you like look at the camera and you tell them what you're doing, or like, because these people that I've seen doing lives are always commenting on like, oh look, thanks for all the hearts and blah blah blah, or I see you've got a question. I can't even tell where that stuff is, like where you're even supposed to look, or like how many devices you're supposed to have going to figure out where they are. But if you're writing, you're not going to see any of it anyway. If you're actually writing, I mean, I don't know.
So I've watched a lot of author lives, and there's like several styles where it's like, come pack orders with me while I chat with you. I've seen people do that. I am too afraid that I'm going to mess up the order while I'm chatting with people. So I haven't done that, but I did a come sign a stack of books with me, and it was so nerve-wracking that all the signatures were horrible, but I did it. And then like people who are just sitting there and talking about the books, and I only did one and it was nerve-wracking. But I ended up doing that and I got a lot of engagement, which was nice.
When you say engagement, are you talking about like in the midst of the live thing with the comments that like I don't know where questions? To look for? Okay.
Yeah, people asking questions, and I was so nervous that it was just kind of chaotic. I think if I do it again, as you go, it'll get easier. But the ones I see that have a lot of activity, I guess, are usually when the author is just sitting and talking directly, usually with a book in front of them and just talking to kind of, I guess you just got to start talking, and then people see that you're talking, and then they'll start asking, and that's the scary part. You got to kind of start
like
before.
I'm growing an ulcer listening to you.
It's like I'm tempted to. Fine. I'm tempted to get my assistant to come on and start asking questions, because then it's like then people see there's questions and then there's engagement, and then okay, then we can join in versus like this crickets room. But but that's the author lives that I see working well tend to either be I'm sitting here talking about my book, or I'm sitting here packing orders. The ones with writing, I haven't seen a lot of engagement on that, and I think it's just because there's not a lot of engagement with like
right.
Yeah, like if you're commenting, they might not see it or whatever. I don't know. And I don't know how that works like in terms of sales for the other ones, but I stop on author lives a lot where they have a book and they're just chatting about it, because I'm like, well, that's interesting, I'm curious or whatever.
That's good. I should do it more. It's like whenever I get to it, I am at a point where like I have too many people around, and then I can never actually do it because I'm like, oh, there's all talking, blah, blah. I'm like filled with excuses. But no, that's I know it would be a lot easier if I just like spent more time there, but I just cannot seem to make it happen. Okay. Those are really good to help with. I need to just like toughen up and like start doing it. I don't know, or figure out somebody to like maybe see if like Brenda wants to do one with me or something. And
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Figure out if we can. I just, you know what? It's like, I gotta stop caring how bad it looks. That's really the long and short of it. It's like, I just need to stop. I just need to be like, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I remember someone told me one time that all their numbers kept going up when they showed up on TikTok videos, like looking like a chaos gremlin. And I'm like, after that, I'm like, okay, I'm okay. I don't need to. I don't need to
like that was not my experience, like whenever, and it wasn't live, but like I just tried being like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna do my thing, and I did not actually see miraculous growth, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. I like that.
Too.
I like having. Yeah. And it's like, I like having the different ideas. Like, I'm much more comfortable posting things now. I mean, they're not really so often me, but like occasionally. And I am like, it's like easier just to make yourself do it the more you do it, but, but by far it's still just like it's like the little thing. The only thing is that when I do it, I actually do notice. Maybe it's not actually related, but it seems to be related. Like the volume of shipping orders or something, it's like it seems to make a difference even as bad as I am at it. So I don't know. So I just want to keep trying anyway and keep putting stuff out, but I'll say that's how it goes.
So there is this style of video. I don't know if you have seen it at all. I've been seeing it come up mostly with just one person, but it seems to be really effective, where she's like holding a book, and I think she is the author. She's holding a book, she's reading it, and it's like a 1-2 punch hook, where it's not like when you're from the character's point of view. It's like when you, the reader, are watching the author do this thing that's setting up for, and then the 2 punches, like, oh my God, the thing that's setting up for. I've seen that several times, and big viral videos off of this. And I'm trying to reverse engineer it. And I don't know if that's something that has been, or if that's something someone's just really, really surging with right now. But I like that, where it's like a step removed, where it's almost like the reader's point of view versus like the character's point of view. And you could just kind of hit it from different angles, I guess. Like, and I think a lot of people just don't pay attention and don't think it's the author anyway. They're just like, oh, here's this person reading this book, I must go read it now.
Okay. You know, if you see it again, if you happen to like catch it, if it pops up in your feed, would you mind grabbing the link and either dropping it into a message or
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, that would be cool to see. I'm not sure I totally understand it, but like I would love to actually get a peek, and hopefully it's something that a lot of people are doing, and it's not like one of those like territorial things where you've like stepped on their toes when you try to do it. And it's like, I don't know.
I think it's a big enough video that I'd be very surprised if other people aren't copying it. And I've seen several in this technique. But honestly, I don't care anyway. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. I mean, the more who do, then the less like Mira will stand out when she tries it. So that's cool though. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Like any of the ones that like require some kind of like acting thing are where you're like have to actually look like you're doing something. Oh my God. It's just I don't know. Not my natural comfortable place. So,
and the other thing that I'm not having a whole lot of luck with this yet, but there's like taking an iPad and marking up like a page from the book, like you're highlighting it and you're doing the tropes. And a friend of mine is like going absolutely, her videos are just soaring right now with this on Instagram and TikTok. And it's really interesting because it's kind of like the highlighting pages thing, but you're doing it on the camera, and so like you're recording doing this on your iPad, or I'm trying to do it with paperbacks and I'm burning through damaged paperbacks and it's not quite working.
Mine were not like crazy good. Like I did a couple of those highlighting ones, and like we put a couple in ads and they just were like, But is it, so they're showing them actually doing it while, like, so it's like it's filming with their phone and it shows them coloring in on the iPad, like on like a Good Notes thing or something, where you're actually
it's like a notes app. And I gotta see if I can grab this author.
I would probably have more success doing something like that than trying to color it. That's something I'll try, see whether it works out, because it's like you can do a little more fun stuff, and then you don't burn through your all of your damaged books.
So this is the author who is doing it in Instagram Reels. I mean, not all of hers are like that, but I just thought it was so interesting, and she said she copied it from someone else too.
I know, it's like that. I always feel like I need to say hey, thank you to whomever it is that I saw 6 months ago doing whatever it was. But okay, I'm gonna watch that. I watched that after this too. Awesome. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah, I know there's a million good ideas, but
yeah, you could also test out the text message back and forth scenario if you have any good scenes for that. Like the characters, if they were texting back and forth, the dialogue.
Yeah.
I am completely blanking on the app that one of the authors uses for that, but I will let you know as soon as I find it.
Okay. And then it's just one text pops up and then the next like a video, like you were watching your phone or something.
It pretty much looks like if you were screen recording a conversation back and forth on your phone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you're able to actually adjust the images on the contact photos so that you can put character images on them, so you know who's texting back and forth.
Fun. Okay.
Let me grab it so I can show you real quick.
Is that something that would work for scenes that they're not texting in, but like if you're imagining things happening behind the scenes sort of stuff?
Yes. Yeah. You can use it for any scene that would fit dialogue back and forth. Here, let me put this in the chat for actually everyone to see.
I'm totally imagining my hockey players having a team loop over who's hotter, or who's that would be a fun one.
Here's the one that's doing really well just because it looks more organic, like an iPhone message, because you just made the other bubbles gray and then blue.
Is that like a CapCut template?
It's a certain app, actually. I will get back to everyone on what that app is called, but it is an app, actually. So.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still available on AppSumo, but just a kind of fun thing that I found, it was Interactivity or something. And you can make trivia and like crossword puzzles and like games and stuff. Just it's not really. I don't know that you can apply it to like ads or anything, but in terms of like sending readers, keeping readers engaged and things like that, like reader group stuff, other things. I thought it was really fun, and it was like not ridiculous. I think it was like $50 or $59 or something. They have like a bunch of different tiers, but I thought it was kind of a fun thing that I think if I spend a little more time on, I could probably figure out like how to use it to kind of like get people to look and be interested in the books and stuff. But let me look and see. Interacity, and so INTERACTY. So if anybody does the AppSumo stuff, it's kind of a fun thing. I did like a crossword puzzle, and I thought like maybe it'd be a fun thing to like print out like and throw into or put a QR code or something into print orders. And then like, I mean, you don't have to actually do anything with it, but it's something very inexpensive and easy to just like toss in with things that readers could have to play with, especially with like maybe those blind date books and things like that too, where you want them to be like continue to be interested and then come back and buy stuff. So I don't know. That was a fun one. But
well, I know people who've done really well with like coloring books made with Midjourney, and I help people do that. And it's kind of been in the back of my mind to do stuff like that. I just haven't done it yet, but I wonder if that would be like a good page to put in.
Be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
there's also an app. Sorry, Mira. There's also an app that it's called Lantern. It allows you to create quizzes and stuff on your page. Okay. I know some authors have done it kind of as their newsletter, and they've gotten a really great sign up rate there. But you essentially input certain questions and certain items into it so that it allows the readers to do a quiz and figure out which books would best fit them based off their interests.
Oh, that's fun. I actually think that probably is similar to what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is it off there, but they can like embed it onto their website? Is that what you're saying?
Or your site? Yeah. And it integrates with a lot of things. So the main one is obviously Klaviyo, which is nice because if you do integrate it with your newsletter, you get a much higher sign up rate there because they have to put their email address in before they get the books, essentially.
Before they get the books.
The recommendation to the book, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That would be a fun one. Okay, so is it just spelled like regular lantern?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this one I don't remember seeing it say that it was that it integrated with anything in particular. So that might be a better option. But
yeah, definitely.
Cool. I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
I've got a question about the new Shopify Summer Editions releases. So when does that actually get rolled out into Shopify, or how do you know whether the latest thing is available for your level of Shopify?
I believe they're just slowly rolling things out. I know there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
there's this article about it. This right here.
I've clicked on the link in the dashboard, and there's heaps of stuff, and there's a couple of things that I was kind of interested in, but it just doesn't seem like it's out yet, and I didn't know how long that kind of thing took.
I don't think they have an exact date. They've done this. They do this honestly almost every year. They just do a bunch of updates and like slowly do it, because I think if they did it all at once, it'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on that page, it'll show every single update that they're doing. Looks like there's about
They're not really
177.
giving a specific date, because you could test out the free trial as well there.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that meant. If you clicked on, like, I was too scared to click on free trial to figure out if that was going to, suck up my store or not.
No, it'll give you more information after you click that. Let's see. So they still aren't giving like a specific date, but it's honestly just a bunch of updates to the back end of everything. And you can go through all of the different updates that they're going to give. So like ship and fulfill, they'll have a bunch for that. They have a bunch for like selling globally and selling across other markets. So those would be good ones to look into, what they're going to have there as well.
Okay, cool. I'll just be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, but it's honestly like how Apple does its updates, and you update your phone and you have all these different changes. It's kind of like that, how they're just doing a huge update to the back end there.
All right, cool. The other question I had is to do with TikTok. So I'm really rubbish at TikTok, and every time I go in to try and create a video, I can't figure out how I did it last time, and I can't find the bits and pieces. So is it different on your computer versus on your phone? And is there a better device to use in order to upload videos and edit them and all that kind of thing?
I would highly recommend, so the phone is going to be your best bet for posting on TikTok and creating videos. But I would recommend, if you are having trouble like with going back through and finding the same format and everything, I would create your videos in CapCut and then upload them to TikTok from CapCut.
Okay.
And that is a separate app.
Yeah, I've got CapCut on my phone, I think, as well. But
you don't?
I was trying to figure out one of the videos I see regularly. Well, it's not a video, it's where they have the image and then you have to scroll to see the next bit of text from the book. I was trying to do that the other day and I was just like, nah, I can't figure it out. It just wouldn't even let me upload a photo. So it would only let me upload a video. So I just got confused and backed out and walked away.
Yeah, no worries. That's a completely different. So it's actually, that one's a slideshow. So it'll be, a different option there. Is your TikTok completely updated, the app? Do you know?
No idea. I can have a look.
I would make sure it's completely updated, and then you would just essentially upload it as a slideshow or create it as a slideshow versus a video or just an image.
Okay. And the other thing, I got all my print books the other day, so I'm going to do all your book flips and your other bits and pieces that I've seen around the place. And I was looking on YouTube for some sort of instructional video on how the hell to do those kind of things. And I couldn't find anything. Does anybody have any recommendations on how I can learn how to do all that stuff?
Like book flip type videos?
Yeah, book flips. And you know how they show one book and then it changes to another book and then it changes to another book, and it's like I don't know. I know you can stop the video and then edit it and together and things like that. But I was just trying to think of different things that I could do, and I haven't got very far.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any videos, Ella, in terms of tutorials on YouTube?
Tutorial videos for creating things on CapCut. I can definitely send some over to you, Claire.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Because I'm every time I go, okay, I'm ready, I'm going to do this, and then I spend an hour faffing about on one video, and I walk away and just go, no, I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
I would do.
Yeah, I'll send some. over to you as well. But CapCut's really nice, like Cameron was saying. And I know I kind of described how to make the slideshow piece on TikTok as well, but I can also send something over to you that would be a little bit more visually explaining things as well. And yeah, I mean, other than that though, like Cameron said, CapCut's going to be your go-to if you want to be able to save like certain kind of templates of videos too.
Yeah. And I've heard that if you upload videos that you don't make in TikTok, it has less reach than if you do. Is CapCut sort of different because it's sort of integrated with TikTok?
Yes. Yeah, they're partners, so it's a little bit different there. And that's really between like we see that a lot on Instagram too. Like if you take a video directly from TikTok and snap take it and then put it over on Instagram, and don't make any adjustments to it using the Instagram upload, sometimes it won't push that video as far just because it knows that you didn't create it in Instagram at all.
It's metadata.
Which is a little, yeah. So yeah, I mean, other than that, with CapCut, TikTok, they're together, they're partners, so it's not going to do a whole lot there.
And so I haven't done anything on Instagram except set up an account so we can run ads to it. But I have spent the last few days creating some content for it. I went out and got Canva Pro and discovered you can do the bulk create function, which is amazing. So I've created like, 250 images in a few days, which is wonderful. But if you post with Buffer, because that's what I was thinking of using to then just set it up for a month and forget about it effectively, go in and comment if somebody comments. But is that the same as just uploading in Instagram, or is that going to be another thing where it just doesn't like it because it's coming from a different thing?
Is Buffer just going to bulk upload images for you, or is it going to do the videos as well?
Oh, look, I've done images. Don't get me started on videos as well. One at a time, Ella.
Yeah. So it's just going to be focusing on the images. You should be fine with the images.
Yeah,
the images are really not going to reach as far as like Reels would organically. So those are just more for like having content on your page. I would definitely recommend taking a look at some other authors' Instagrams. Just because I would recommend posting something that's like your reading order, get to know me, or something like that that's pinned at the top of your page, just so you have a little bit of structure. You could also take a look at Anne-Marie Meyer's page for reference there. She's got a great kind of setup on her Instagram organically. And then as far as go ahead.
Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, they've all basically just merged together in terms of like Instagram used to be just images. And now it's Reels, which is the same thing as TikTok videos and Facebook stories. Is that right? Because I've never actually even looked at Facebook stories because I'm just like, ugh.
Facebook stories are going to be Instagram stories. So those two will be connected. And then Facebook does have Reels as well.
So what's the difference between a story and a reel?
So stories are going to be on your like profile icon, and those will be only available for 24 hours. You can put a video on them, you can put an image on them, you can repost other people's content, but it will only be available for 24 hours. And then Reels are videos from 0 to a minute, and those will go on your page and they'll stay there as a post. So they'll act like an image post in a sense. They'll go in a different place if you want to just only post them to Reels, but they'll stay there until you delete them essentially, and people can comment, that sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at that next.
Yeah. And I would honestly if you have time throughout the day, any content that we've used in ads, I would go ahead and post it as a video on Instagram as well. And since your Instagram and your Facebook are connected on the back end, correct? Okay, yeah. So, and then I would just recommend posting them and letting it post to Facebook as well, or if you do it vice versa, letting it post to Instagram. And that way too, you can have content going on your page as well.
Okay. All right. I'll sit down and see what I can schedule and organize.
Yeah, definitely. And then I know Canva has a content planner, but we also did put out a Google sheet that's like a content planner as well. That way you can kind of keep track of what's going to be posted, that sort of thing. And then Cameron, remind me of the name of the app that'll post across things just to save time.
I do know Buffer is one of those.
Buffer.
Yeah.
And then there was one other one, but if Buffer's working, go ahead and use Buffer as well.
Yeah.
That way it can also save you time.
Hootsuite.
Later.
Buffer, yeah. Later. Yeah. That's another one.
Yeah.
Is there a better one? Because I haven't started using Buffer. I just saw it in the videos.
I've heard Buffer's really good, honestly. That's what we recommend in the course. Just after just taking a look at a few, Buffer looked good.
Okay.
I was using the repurpose.io, but I noticed that since I started using it, my TikTok numbers are kind of flatlining. I don't know if it's that, or have you ever noticed that if that's where it's pulling from with any of these, that it can kind of mess up numbers, or is that probably incidental or coincidental?
I think it's honestly coincidental. I've seen a lot of forums talking about that. And there's a lot of people that use that for social media marketing or management, that manage accounts with more, that are getting a lot more views, and it doesn't mess anything up there. So I still think it's just the content, or like whatever's happening in the market.
Got it. Okay. I did see my YouTube numbers just completely flatlined when I started posting to there through the repurpose. Like it went from 400 a post to 1 or 0.
That could be the metadata then from TikTok that it's grabbing.
Metadata. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where in like what Ella is saying, they do know like if you're creating in platform. So that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that's one of the things that Instagram has like come out and said, that you'll get more reach if you're creating and editing the video within Instagram when you go to post.
So how much do you have to like, sorry, how much do you have to like edit?
You're probably asking the same question I am. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm guessing like adding in text and sound. I would try it both ways though. I would try it with having the text on already and then using a sound for Instagram at least. I would try that. If you're gonna bring it across platforms, especially, I wouldn't take the same sound from TikTok that was on that video and post it again. I would try to find it on Instagram and then post it organically. Yeah.
You mentioned slideshows, and I don't know if it's something you were talking about earlier, before I hopped in. Is that, well, two things. First, Ella, I don't know if you'd be willing to email me too with your how-to stuff. I'd love that. Yeah. But is the slideshow thing a trend? When you said it, Brighton Walsh does pretty well on TikTok, and every now and then when I'm trying to figure out like a hashtag or something, I go look at her stuff, and I noticed that instead of having scrolling stuff, she's got the sliding thing as like, it looks like a sort of sliding slideshow, I guess. Is that like something that is like trending, or like, yes, try to figure out how to do it? Or is there like any kind of trick with that, or kind of like, well, I don't know.
So I would say with the slideshow feature, it's what works the best typically is what people use in TikTok to create the slideshows, which is when you're going to create a video, you go to templates and then you upload all the photos that you want. A majority for like book slideshows. It's the same image in the background and then different text as overlay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's in TikTok, not in CapCut.
Yeah, that's in TikTok. You could probably do it. No, I think it's just in TikTok there. I've never done it through CapCut before. So yeah, I would see if it allows you to, but if you go just through TikTok, you go to templates. So
okay. One other quick thing with the live stuff, if I ever branch out and try doing it, is there, I think when I first looked at it, it was something where I couldn't reuse the stuff that it's not reusable, right? It's not like it's saved somewhere, or do people have a way of like reusing part of it, or is it like, no, this is like a story or whatever, where it's like it's there and then it's gone and that's it?
They showed me replays after I did mine, but I don't remember if I could download it or not. I'm not sure. Like, it showed me like replays of my live and I watched them. I'm like, oh my God, that was awkward. So I didn't know what to do. I don't know if you could download that or not.
Yeah, I know it'll show you the recordings. If like after the live, if you go onto it, and then it should give you the option for recordings, but I would double check if it allows you to download it as well. That might be something that they just updated.
With that in mind, so if you had the option to, would you say like record it separately? Like if you're doing this, like, hey, I'm packing an order for Marcy and blah, blah, and then you do it and it's live and then you're done. Would you like kind of like and take a video of yourself doing it at the same time and then try to reuse it kind of thing? Or I don't know, maybe that's like too complicated. I'm just like, boy, if you're going to do something and it's like going to be engaging enough for somebody to look at it, it would be nice to have it a second time. But
yeah, I mean, we don't typically see a ton of like reusing content from lives unless it was a specific thing,
like desperate.
A giveaway. Yeah, well, unless it was like a giveaway and you had it going and then someone won the giveaway and you like stitched it with a previous video from the live actually. Okay. But we don't typically see a whole lot of people replaying the lives or reusing that content, just because the point of the lives is that it's more exclusive because you're right there watching it at the time. So you got to be there, or just miss it in general. But yeah, I wouldn't worry a whole lot about recording them. I know that it is more content, but yeah, we don't typically see a whole lot of that being reused.
As far as like the minimum amount of time then that you were going to do a live, is there really, is there like a rule, like, make it at least, I know Cameron, you were talking in a previous call at some point that TikTok was really pushing the longer lives, but
usually like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
Was like the minimum.
Well, maybe for like the writing one, I could try something like that. But what did you say? I'm sorry, I was talking over you. What did you say?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. Mm-hmm. So like, if you're not going to do 90 minutes most of the time, is there like a shorter one, or is it really like, don't bother if you're not going to do this for 90 minutes? Because at
this point, like if it's going to take, like, unless you're doing just a live where it's just facing towards you while you're writing, I would just focus on writing at this point, because at this point, you just need more books because you already have the customer base. I wouldn't try to get a viral video at the time. I would just, unless you do that with the live, just stay on writing. I would just focus on writing.
Okay. I was just thinking, I'm like, well, I could talk about the books, but there's no freaking way in the world that I would do that for 90 minutes. Like, that's bananas.
I would just do creatives. I would just make creatives
maybe with it. It's like maybe do that for like 5, but that's probably
creatives would definitely be a much better at where you're
use
at,
the time.
we just need more videos, more images, and we can just keep these campaigns going. Yeah.
All right. Tried to hustle my stepsister who's in Chicago to get more videos of like the neighborhoods for me. We'll see. We'll see if she comes through. I don't know. Didn't get enough. All right, cool. I think that exhausts my million questions today.
I'm sweating.
Thank
It's
you for
85 degrees in my apartment right now, so
Oh
I'm
no.
sweating. My AC went out
What
today.
happened to your air conditioning?
It was just today.
Oh no.
Yeah, they were fixing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh gosh. Well,
What were you saying, the way? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying thank you for the math on the lives, because I see TikTok heavily pushing that, and in my mind I'm like, the one I did before, I think I had one or two sales. But I'm like, okay, time wise, what is going to maximize what I've got? And that just doesn't seem like it is.
Yeah, there's also something that I'm working on putting together a video document where like you can think about like if you make, I already did this math earlier, I'm not making this up. So if you make like $100,000 a year, you can essentially say like if there's 260 work days, that would be $384 per work day that you're making. And so if you take each hour block, it would be about $43 per hour. So if something takes you an hour to make, like takes a post, that essentially costs you $43 of advertising money if you're taking that time to make it. Obviously, there's other factors where like you're getting better at making content and things like that. But it's important to just like get like rough numbers of like, this is how much time this is spending, like taking, and this is how much it's going to be worth versus how much I'm making every year. And you can also mess around with the numbers if obviously probably that was like corporate job. So you probably can add more numbers to that. But yeah, playing around with that and seeing like, what is your time worth for posts versus, because some authors that can get up to 70, 80K profit just off of ads, they're like, I don't even want to spend the time making a post because like I have to build this whole following. Now other authors can just have an amazing organic profile and their cost of acquisition is like super, super low because they don't have to spending money on ads and it's all just videos and it just keeps compounding from there. So there's different ways to look at it, but it is important to look at your time versus money for sure.
Yeah, and that's also good to use when you're thinking about getting other apps or add-ons or hiring a PA or something. It's good to take a look at that and see, you know, what your time is worth currently and what you can spend to offload some things as well.
You know, in that vein, I have to say, like the working with Jeremy has been so nice because it's like that stuff. It makes money, and and when I first thought about it, and I was like, I mean, I think it's about $1,500 a month to have him do my campaigns and just manage the whole thing for me, and when I looked at my June statement, I had made like $1,490 or something from the part that I would not have done. I mean, the campaigns, not the actual flows. So it was the part that is, you know, his active work is at least break even, and everything has been going up each month. So that was one of those things where I was just like, thank you, because not having to do that frees it up so that I can, you know, do whatever other 6 million things there are to do. So that one's like, yeah,
everything.
But also like the fact that it's nice having it, because then when I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to like figure out how to do this thing where I can get those ebooks to people, it occurred to me like halfway through talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I can actually just ask Jeremy to do it. So that'll be good. But yeah, stuff like that has been super, super helpful to be able to free up some time, and those equations of, you know, what's your time worth kind of thing. And also like stress and all the other stuff. So I don't know. But that was a good one.
I keep looking at all of this is in my mind because I'm like, my time is so crunched, and where do I put all the effort and just having my PA do the comment, just completely handle the comments and engagement on Instagram and Facebook has been huge. And then, can I get someone to run several other TikTok accounts, or can I, what's the cost versus time versus, and lives just keep not figuring high on that equation.
I would honestly, I wouldn't do it then. And if you keep thinking about it, all that time that you're thinking about it, that's also costing you money too. Like, obviously, like we don't want to think about everything with money, but like, if you think about it in terms of like, as an author, everything you're doing is you're a business, like everything you're doing is business. And so it's important to think like, because like that example with if someone's doing $70,000 profit with just ads, not only is their time worth that amount, but like they don't have to do anything to do that profit because those ads are running themselves. And so you always just got to think. It's also important too to think like with the organic profile. Yes, it costs this amount, but you are also building something. Like the example with Jeremy too. Like those emails are not only going out and making you money, but it's also extra impressions. So it's also helping your brand. So like there's also that monetary advantage to it. It's also helping your ads because then your ads get tracked as a purchase. So there's like, as you're thinking about that time versus money, it's also, am I building towards something? Because maybe the lives aren't worth that much right now, but how long do you have to do them for? Do you have to do them for 6 months, a year? Like how many hours is this going to take in the future to get to the point where you want to? Or could you focus on something else? Because any business that's done like incredible things, and you could, I feel like the author is a little bit different because you could kind of jump around in terms of different genres, but still like go all in on one. But like most businesses focus on one thing. Like you do the thing that you're absolute best at and you hire for everything else. And so that's kind of how I would think about it in that sense.
Yeah. I know the one, I guess in my own, I love that because now I'm just like on the live thing, but I guess the one thing where I always kind of don't know whether it's something that I need to prioritize and figure out how to do, and why I think it's been lingering on my list so long, is that combining different efforts. I know when we first started being like, okay, well, let's put like a $7 into Google ads, and we'll like do a little bit here and a little bit there, and the things kind of played off of each other. And so it's like that, wanting to make sure that you're doing all the things that are necessary, even if some of them are like, a time investment instead of like a financial investment, and whether it's actually something that will like, sorry, like the alarm to feed my dogs. But whether or not like having that live will mean that your TikTok stuff will actually go out better. It's like whether whether it fits into the equation of like, well, if you're going to do this, it's kind of going to be like a waste of your time unless you do this too, right? Or you'll get more bang for your buck or whatever. But
so now
I don't know.
You're not only doing just the lives too, but now it's also making the TikTok videos. And if you've been doing it for a month and you're making realistically 1,000 times more probably from running the ads, like with how much we're doing versus TikTok versus ads.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In that equation, I wouldn't even think about it. Now, in someone else's situation,
you're like, Mira, you can get off of TikTok. Because if you tell me that, I'll just be done. But
honestly,
like, right now, every day, I'm like trying to get them out. But I don't know.
If you're thinking about the 80-20 rule too, where 80% of all of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your efforts. What are the 20%? What's the 20% that you're doing that's actually driving that 80%? What I would say from seeing, and this is different for everyone too. It's not the same.
For sure.
Like in your case, it's going to be writing ad copy, looking for new creatives. And I would honestly put that at the lower side. I'd say writing more books is like number one, because you already have a machine that's getting you customers. And in terms of business, all you have to look at is how much it costs to acquire a customer and how much you can make those customers worth. And we're already acquiring on repeat every single day. Like, it's a machine that's not going to stop anytime soon. We can even make it better. And all we need to think about is just like, how much can you make these customers work?
Yeah. Right. And that's how you think about your business as a whole, like with our offer and everything. The 20% is that one offer that you're focusing on in the ads, but you're getting those customers back on your store. And that's the other 80% of the profit that's coming from those customers in the long end, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually so glad we talked about that because I've really been like neglecting the writing part of it. Just kind of like I'm slow to do pretty much everything. And so stuff that other people can do a little faster, it just takes me a long time. And so like doing the ads, especially for books that are over 10 years old, trying to find the seams and like rewriting stuff or rereading stuff, trying to put it all together. And I think I still need to keep doing that, but like prioritizing maybe everything else to make more room for the writing, because at this point it's been an easy trade just because the financial return has been like, no, I'll take this, thanks, but I'm like definitely starting to get that like twitchy, like, Mira, you really have to start writing too. And just prioritizing it over maybe like getting that TikTok thing out or figuring out how to do the next like cute thing that is like,
well, that's a very, very
really
common thing in business where if you get a success, you're like, well, I want to start something new so I can feel that success again, that early success.
Yeah.
And you try to jump to the next thing. And you just have to stick with it. You have to stick with the one, like the one that's going to drive the most, or like one or two, but like, because like realistically, to get to $1 million a year as an author, you need just one platform. That's it. Like, you just got to be the best at one, and not even the best. You just have to be like up in the top percent, which really just takes like studying that one platform and just knowing it and just continuously making videos and writing more books so you can increase your LTV.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all right. I'll do some writing before our call tomorrow.
Nice.
I think that's what I'm struggling with, because I haven't found anything that works yet. So the ads aren't working. TikTok's a failure. I very rarely post to Facebook. And so I thought I'd try Instagram. But I'm also not writing. So
I would definitely recommend, Claire, since your readers are a little bit older, I would recommend instead of focusing on TikTok, focus on Facebook. And since they'll just post across to Instagram as well on the side. But that's where your reader base is, mostly on Facebook. So I would really, really hone in on posting organically there.
And so I'm traveling around Australia at the moment, but that's got nothing to do with my books. But should I post that this is what I'm up to, this is the place I've visited on Facebook to get that personal connection, or should I just make it all about books?
Yeah, I would do a little bit of both, actually, because your readers do want to get to know you. And they also want to see about your books as well, because that's going to reach the new audiences. So I would do a little bit of both. Do you have like a group of your readers as well?
No, I've just got a page.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, then I would do a little bit of half and half. I would do updates from your trip, since you are able to create so much content about that. And then I would also do like just the videos we've been using in the ads as well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm so jealous that you don't have a reader group. I mean, I have like 5 really great people in my like 1,500 person reader group. I swear I feel like it's the biggest waste of time, and have been trying to like exit out of that thing. Like, I'm waiting for somebody to be like, cut it. And it just, everybody's like, no, that's a really good idea. You should keep that. I'm like, I don't know. If anybody ever feels like it's a terrible idea to have one, you just let me know.
I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I've got a couple of friends that have groups and I'm in them to support them and stuff. But like, there just seems to have this great reader engagement and people are posting all the time and asking questions. And I'm like, do I need one of those? Is any, like, because hardly anybody comments on anything that I do. So it's a bit like, is it worth my time?
It actually like sucks my energy out, because I do see other people who are very successful with it. And, and I'm like, wow, my numbers up. Look at all these people coming in. And the people from the direct sales stuff have definitely been more engaged than like the people prior to that. But I can post in there and I'm like, look, I've got this great idea for like a new sticker, or I have this thing, and anything that I ask that is about my brand, about my books, about anything, out of all of these people, I might get like 2 or 3 comments, and it is just like, why did I bother coming up with this like crafty, fun idea? Like, why did I bother doing this? Because I'm just never going to be Amy Dawes. Like, I'm never going to be the person who people just can't get enough of their personality and like are like, oh my gosh, tell me more. Now I'm going to go buy everything. It's like I can ask them about the books, and it just is. I mean, they maybe are going off and buying them because they saw the post, but there's nothing that actually indicates from like any analytics that I can get from Facebook that suggests that it's ever moving the needle. Well, I don't know.
That's kind of like what we were just talking about with, I mean, it probably took her a long time to get to that point, right? That you said Amy Dawes, was that an author?
Yes, if you're like, she started out with she's probably best known for her started writing in a tire store, and like it went viral all over the country. Like, because other authors were having food delivered to the waiting room for her, and she wasn't even having her tires changed anymore. She was just going there to write. So she's hilarious, and she's got like all of these Netflix, I think, deals, or Passionflix deals. I don't even know. Like one of those things. She's got a bunch of her stuff is being turned into movies and stuff. But that's just her personality. She posts on stories every day. She just sits and talks. She's very charismatic. There is something about her that it works for some people, right? And I don't know that it took her. She's been writing a lot shorter time than I have, but it just, for her, they can't get enough. And so it's, not me being like, oh, I wish I was Amy Dawes, but I've never seen that, and it's like, I mean, part of the problem might be that I've also had this reader group for, I don't know, like, well, actually mine is like only like 7 years old, maybe.
Do you like the reader group?
Do they
bring revenue in? Do they like buy books?
I have no evidence that they do. I mean, I don't know that they buy. Yeah, I don't know that they buy anything more than like the newsletter or, anything else. I mean, there's really no indication that, I mean, there are, like I said, there's like 5 people that engage with me all the time.
I would not worry about your news. It sounds like it's, I mean, in terms of the time thing that we were just talking about, it sounds like it's costing a lot.
It's like I was begging you to give me that answer. And
yeah, if we did a number figure, I mean, we could do the math, but
no, it's one of those things where you like, if you're going to do it, you have to do it. Okay. So if you were going to cancel your reader group, then is there some kind of like, you just put a post out and you're like, hey guys, I just don't have time for this anymore, but like see me around all these other places, or any ideas on like an exit ramp?
Post your socials and just be completely honest with them. Just say, hey, I'm going to be, I'm just going to be focusing on these socials for right now. And if you would like to buy from me, you can go in here. But yeah, because
I'll just leave it open, and then instead of actually closing it and just being like, I'm not in very often or something.
Yeah. This is something interesting, is that you wouldn't be saying this if your reader group was something that you liked. You wouldn't be complaining about it, and it would be making money. And so you wouldn't even like talk about it. But since it's like this, that's why.
Well, if I felt like a positive feedback, because I'm very much a person who like, like feels and like, oh yeah, this makes me feel great because like it's successful or it is not successful, and it's like, it's that putting yourself out there, which is not always comfortable for me, and then to not have the return, not to have that like positive feedback on it, where it's just like, it's actually, if I spend a lot of time being like, this is going to be the thing, I'm going to make this, it'll be so fun for everybody. And then it's like, that no one cares. Then I'm frustrated that I wasted my time. And it's like the anti-popularity contest where you're like the runner-up for least engaged author is Mira. So, I mean, it's one of those things where but it's, everybody wants you to have it. They always tell you ought to have this thing. And I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, so like, I think you caught it yourself because you're bringing it up. And so you shouldn't do it. You already know. Yeah.
Should I just get rid of it, or should I keep it and just stop using it?
I would just stop looking at it completely. Yeah.
That's good.
Because the only way that you can make it viable is if you hired someone and you took maybe like a month to like figure out the right person, then like if they would be able to manage it and how much it would bring back, but you don't even know how much it would bring back. Like, that's the process you would have to go through, or you can just never look at it again.
I know. And I've actually tried that. Yeah, I've tried that before, and it just like it, for whatever reason, it just doesn't take. So, that's a good thing. Sorry, I gotta let my dog in. I'm still listening, but no, thank you. Yeah, that is really nice to hear. I love the idea of it's those have-tos that are constantly on your list that you like just feel like, it's part of what you're doing and you just have to do it. But like, maybe if you don't actually just have to do it, that would be all right too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Then I can read more of Amy Dawes' books because I'll have more free time. I don't know. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Do you have any other questions? Nothing there? Cool.
Go ahead. Last thing. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I'm just gonna go splash my face in cold water. I think it's getting even hotter.
Oh, should I take the thing off? Should I take the thing off of the Shopify header that says "Join my reader group"? Then?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Yeah. You just send it to your bundle.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Of course. Cool. Awesome. I'll go ahead and drop this call in the folder.
Bye, y'all.
See you in the next call.
Bye.